My God, look how bad that is. This may have been a stupid decision. I've just bought this V6 Audi TT. It's the cheapest in the country, and there's a good reason why.
Introducing my brand new project car. This 250 horsepower absolute beast of a car, still with a bit of MOT left, but this one's hiding a surprise. The Audi TT Mark II is no joke. It's Audi's answer to the MX-5, and the Mark II having an aluminium and steel hybrid structure means its reduced weight and improved handling make it a beast on the road. The Mark II improves a lot over the Mark I TT. Personally, I think the biggest improvement is the looks. I know a lot of people love the look of the Mark I, but for me, the more modern, sleek design of the Mark II just does it better.
I'll show you the main reason this was so cheap in a bit, but first let's have a look at the rest of the stuff that needs doing, because there's quite a long list. I think these are really nice looking cars. The upgrade of the headlights from the Mark I to the Mark II really sells it for me. That being said, one of the headlight bulbs has gone, so we'll need to replace that. There is some serious scuffing here. They've hit something, so that will need fixing. A little bit of dent repair and some repainting, that's cool. All the wheels have curb rash. I'm not sure if I'll refurb them, because all in they look okay, but the tires all need replacing. As you can see here, they're pretty much on the marker. So yeah, this one's bad, and this is one of the best ones as well. All the brakes also have a lovely lip on them, so they need replacing. This little bit of trim has come off, and there's a screw hole right there, and that means that that has been undone at some point. Maybe the wing mirror was replaced, I'm not sure, but that should have a bolt in the hole. So yeah, we're gonna have to put that on, which I'm hoping doesn't mean taking off the whole door card. The paintwork on the car is overall in pretty good condition. There are quite a few scratches knocking about, like here for example, and here on the back. Hopefully I can cut and buff those. I'm not entirely sure, so we'll see how we get on with that. This cover is quite scratched up. I'm not sure, maybe I'll repaint this. It sticks out quite a lot compared to the rest of the car. I'll see how expensive these are. If they're pretty cheap, then I'll just get a replacement. Otherwise, I might try and touch it up. To be fair, the back end of the car also looks very good. I really like these cars. I've always wanted a Mark II, and the sound of the V6 as well is amazing, but we'll get to that later on. You can really see how bad these tires are. They're almost bald. I can barely feel a lip on that. That's crazy. This one's got rear parking sensors, which is a nice feature, and it is the Quattro. I'm not entirely sure if these all came as Quattro, but yeah, it's cool having four-wheel drive sports car. Overall here, pretty tidy, pretty clean. A fair bit of bird poo just from under where it was parked. Over to this side, and there is a scratch running basically the whole length. Now that I'm looking at it, I can see it's got some weird texture going on. See that? Does that stop? So actually looking at it, this panel's been resprayed. Not sure if it will show up on the video, but yeah, you can see the color difference here and here. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. Panel gap is still okay, so I'm not too worried. I'm guessing this will just sand out. I might just sand this down and then rebuff it. Hopefully that will sort it out. Saw this previously and I didn't really understand why, but now it makes sense. So there's definitely some body filler here, which we're gonna have to get to. See all down here. All of this I think is body filler, so I'm gonna have to redo all of that. Not too bad, just a little bit of work. A little bit of bubbling here on the roof, a little bit of bubbling there as well. Not sure what I'll do with that. To repair that, hopefully wouldn't mean respraying the whole roof, but I'm not sure. For a 20-year-old car, it's really not that bad. And these are budget sports cars, so it's normal that there are things wrong with it. Let's have a look at the inside, see if that's any better. All in all, the inside is pretty clean.
It does smell a bit like cigarettes and sweat, so I'm not sure what was happening in here before.
I do like this flat-bottomed racing style steering wheel. I think that's a nice touch. And this feels like a premium car. Even the plastic is kind of brushed and feels really nice. There's lots of leather. All the trim is really nice. It's just a really nice interior and a really nice little car. Now, while this is technically a four-seater, the space in the back is ridiculous. I don't even know if a child could get their legs in there. That's how much we're playing with. It came with quite a lot of history, which is really good, but hasn't had anything done to it in the past year or so, because the last owner basically just didn't know what they were doing, didn't really look after it. So the car's kind of just gone downhill a little bit, but that's where I'm going to come in, hopefully fix it back up and get it back on the road and gleaming and shining. What is this? This feels like it should be for like a phone or something. Have to have a look at that. Let's have a look in the boot. There's a little button down here. Now this car does have a rear spoiler which activates at certain speeds, which I think is really cool, but it doesn't actually work on this one. I need to fix that. That's on the list. Now into the boot. I've obviously already had a quick look. The weird thing here is there is a lot of water down there. Don't know where it's come from. Doesn't look like there's more than there was when I picked the car up. It has rained. If that was due to leaking drainage holes on the roof, then the water should be higher. Because it isn't, I reckon that something has been spilled in there, but not super encouraging when it's just below the battery. It does look like a pretty new Halfords battery though, so that's good. But yeah, we do have some mold on the carpet, which will be explained by the water. There's some there as well. There is this trim which goes on here, but this piece has broken off. It sits on there like that. I think that's going to need re-gluing. A little bit of plastic broken there, but I am not worried about that at all. Previous owner has installed an aftermarket head unit, which is great. It's got Apple Play, Bluetooth, all the usual bits. The speakers actually sound really good in this car, so that's a nice little addition. However, we do have some check engine lights. Yeah, that is going to give you a clue as to what might be wrong with this car. But to fully see that, we need to pop the bonnet. Do you know how you do that in this car?
I struggled to open this, but it was just the obvious latch on the front. Silly me.
A little latch, and I was like, what is that? And it was the thing I needed. There it is, the Beast V6 3.2 litre engine. This thing is fantastic. It goes so fast, but that's not where we're looking. If anyone's spotted it already, we're looking over here. Did anyone order the milkshake? Yeah, that is creamy as fudge. Unfortunately, that is oil in the coolant. This may have been a stupid decision. My God, look how bad that is. It's like caramel. I hope this wasn't a bad decision. There is the obvious worst case scenario, which is this is a blown head gasket.
The head gasket sits between the head, the top part of the engine, and the block, the bottom part of the engine. The gasket separates coolant, oil, and combustion gases. If the gasket breaks down, it can cause any of the three to leak into the other three sections they're not supposed to be, which could cause oil in the coolant.
That is possible, but I don't think this has the symptoms of a blown head gasket. The oil filler cap isn't creamy, so that's already a good start. The car doesn't smoke when it's running, so that's a good sign. These Mark II TTs are known for oil cooler failure. The oil cooler is basically just a little reservoir where the coolant runs around it and it cools the oil. Pretty self-explanatory. This also means that they can come in contact if the oil cooler fails. So I reckon that might be the issue, but it's not guaranteed. This could still be a head gasket, which if it is head gasket, that might mean engine out and full engine repair. But fingers crossed. Written out my list of everything that needs doing. Oh, one that I forgot to mention, there's a wobble at 45 miles per hour. In this video, if you look really carefully, you can see the wheel bobbing up and down. I think it might be a suspension issue. These cars are known for having suspension that needs to be replaced after about 8 years. This car's 20 years old, so that's likely. Now, I'm pretty sure it's the rear because as I was driving along, I felt the vibration in the car, not in the steering wheel. If you feel the vibration in the car, that means it's the back wheels. If you feel the vibration in the steering wheel, that means it's the front wheels because that's where you steer. So a good little trick for working out at least which half of the car is bad. The other little test you can do is you can jack up the wheel, put your hands at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock and rattle it side to side.
If you feel any movement, that's a bad tie rod.
If you put your hands at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock and rattle it forward and backwards, and there's any play,
that indicates a bad bearing.
Now I've done this for both sides of the car and they both seemed fine. So I reckon it's a suspension issue. If you look at this video again, you can see the wheel bobbing up and down a little bit.
That to me highlights there's an issue with the shock absorbers.
Not anything else. I've got a big old list of things to fix, but I think for the price I paid, if this isn't a head gasket, then this is still definitely a good deal.
And now for the big reveal. This car cost me £600. Absolute bargain. This is definitely the cheapest V6 Audi TT in the country.
All right, thanks for watching everyone. I'm really excited to get working on this V6. And if you want to see more of the car, stay tuned for next week's video. Right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week for part 2. Bye.